Hello friends. Are you ready to embark on a journey through time and learn about the most amazing story ever told? We're going to talk about a very special thing called evolution, and trust me, it's gonna be a wild ride. Evolution is a process that explains how living things change over a very long time. It's like a big puzzle where all the pieces are slowly put together over millions and millions of years. Just like how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, living things can change and adapt over time to become something new. Let's talk about birds as an example of evolution. Imagine there are birds that live on an island, and some of them have long beaks while others have short beaks. Over time, the birds with long beaks might be better at getting food and surviving, so they have more babies with long beaks. The birds with short beaks might have a harder time getting food, so they have fewer babies. Eventually, all the birds might have long beaks. This is an example of how natural selection works. The best adapted individuals survive and have more offspring. Evolution is not something that happens overnight, it takes millions and millions of years. But because living things have been around for so long, they've had plenty of time to evolve and change. Did you know that birds are actually modern-day dinosaurs? That's right. Scientists have found evidence that birds evolved from a group of dinosaurs called theropods. Over millions of years, the theropods changed and adapted until they eventually became the birds we see today. Studying evolution is like trying to solve a really big puzzle. Scientists are always looking for new pieces of the puzzle and trying to figure out how they fit together. It's a really interesting field of study and there's always something new to learn. One way that living things evolve is through something called adaptation. This means that living things change in order to survive in their environment. For example, a polar bear might have thick fur to stay warm in the cold Arctic, while a camel might have a hump to store water in the hot desert. These adaptations help the animals survive in their unique environments. Plants can also evolve to be better at growing in different environments. For example, cacti have evolved to store water in their stems to survive in the hot, dry desert. Other plants might have evolved to grow tall to get more sunlight or to have deep roots to find water. Sometimes evolution happens because of something called mutation. This is when a living thing's genes change in a way that wasn't expected. Most of the time, mutations aren't helpful, but sometimes they can be. A helpful mutation might give an animal a better chance of surviving in its environment. Charles Darwin was a scientist who studied evolution a long time ago. He came up with the idea of natural selection, which is just a fancy way of saying that the living things that are best adapted to their environment are the ones that survive and have babies. Darwin's ideas about evolution were really important and helped us understand how living things change over time. Isolation is another thing that can affect evolution. This is when a group of living things gets separated from the rest of their species. Over time, they might evolve in different ways and become a new species. This is how evolution can create so much diversity in the world. Evolution takes a really long time and a lot of things have to happen just right for it to work. It's amazing to think that life has been evolving for millions and millions of years, creating all the amazing plants and animals we see today. Fossils are another way that we can learn about evolution. Fossils are the remains of animals and plants that lived a long time ago. By studying fossils, scientists can learn about the animals and plants that lived in the past and how they changed over time. Another way that evolution can happen is through something called speciation. This is when one species evolves into two or more new species. It happens when a population of living things gets separated from the rest of their species and evolves in a different direction. Evolution is not just something that happened a long time ago, it's still happening today. Living things are still evolving and changing in response to their environment. For example, some bacteria have evolved to be resistant to antibiotics because they've been exposed to them so much. Evolution is a really fascinating topic and there's still so much more to learn about it. Scientists are always making new discoveries and learning more about how living things change over time. And that, my friends, is the amazing story of evolution. We hope you had a blast traveling through learning about how all living things have changed and adapted over millions of years. Remember, evolution is not just about humans, but about every single living creature on our planet. As you grow older, you'll learn more and more about the wonderful world of science and how it can help us understand the world around us. But for now, keep exploring and asking questions. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, Subscribe buttons and the notification bell so you can join the Simplify squad.